The Bengals and Trey Hendrickson remain far apart in extension talks, and now that training camp is starting without him, the Bengals' plan with Hendrickson is becoming very clear, and in this video, I'll explain why no other team should want to emulate it. Hi again, Bengals fans. John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati here, and like many of you know, Bengals training camp has already started, and Trey Hendrickson is nowhere to be found. This news is about a day or so old, and I'm just now getting to it because I wanted to kind of really gather my thoughts here in a very cohesive manner. And they're about the same as when I first learned the news that Hendrickson and the Bengals were not able to come to an agreement before veterans were supposed to report to camp on Tuesday. Now, I have seen every angle of this story that's gone on for about 6 or 7 months now. Hendrickson is claiming that he will not play for the Bengals this year without a new contract extension, and the Bengals apparently still don't want to guarantee him any money beyond the first year of said extension. And that continues to be the crux of the situation because at first, the Bengals weren't even offering Hendrickson a multi-year deal. They were just stuck on the 1-year deal, and obviously you can't guarantee anything beyond 1 year when the contract is just 1 year. But then they shifted off that. They went to a multi-year extension because the likes of Max Crosby, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, they've all gotten at least 3-year deals. But a 3-year deal for someone who's 30 years old is not actually a 3-year deal if there are no guarantees beyond just the first year. So even if the Bengals pivoted from a 1-year offer to a multi-year offer, it's still ostensibly a 1-year offer for Hendrickson, at least in his eyes. In reality, the way the Bengals see Hendrickson right now is no different than how they saw him all the way back in February. And if that is the case, now that the entire team is working together in this ramp-up period before an incredibly important month of September, when the entire football world is looking at them to see if they can start fast, if all this is happening now, and this is still how you see one of your best players, why is he still here? I guess he's not here, but why is he still on the roster? If over the last 6 months you have not changed your mind at giving Hendrickson the security that he's demanding, otherwise he won't play, I don't know how that's going to change in the next 6 weeks. It'll probably have to in order for this to get done, but if the Bengals truly don't see him like that, why are they holding on to him? Or at least, why did they hold on to him during the periods of time in which they could have traded him and potentially salvaged the 2025 version of this team? Of course, I'm being obtuse. I know the actual plan, which is to strong-arm him into accepting a deal that's within their parameters, and he has no choice but to just take it because it's the best deal on the table. And the Bengals are going to want to do this even more now that Hendrickson is not reporting to camp at all, because by holding out, he is going to be fined for every single training camp practice that he's not there for. $50,000 for every single practice. And the Bengals are going to put that in his face and say, hey, if you want to recuperate some of this cash, sign on the dotted line. And however you view Hendrickson, whether you want to pay him the contract that he wants or you wanted to trade him in the moment that he requested said trade, how is this the best way about doing this? Look around the league. Look at how the other top pass rushers are being treated. The only one who can kind of relate is Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys, and who in the hell wants to be compared to Jerry Jones at a time like this? And I'm so far past the talking point if he has to honor the last year of his contract when none of his other contemporaries have had to do the same thing, nor wanted to do the same thing. Playing on a 1-year deal without a cent of it being guaranteed at this stage in his career is such a giant risk that no one in his shoes would ever take. I want to make it very clear that while I disagree with how the Bengals are valuing Hendrickson right now, I'm not blaming them for doing so. If they view Hendrickson as someone that may fall off a cliff after this year or next year, and they don't want to be liable and hold on to him with guaranteed money for that, I understand their concern. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But if he is still on the roster right now, which he is, then you have made the choice already to give him what he wants. Keeping him and then forcing him to take something that he doesn't want to take is the best way possible to get a version of Trey Hendrickson that's not even worth keeping around in the first place. He has yet to practice with this new defense, and being implemented into a new scheme is going to take even longer the more that he's out. They are hurting themselves by doing this, all for the sake of trying to make a point, which they've been trying to do for 30 years, and look where that's gotten them. 0 championships. The start of training camp needed to be when this got done, because now you have a team that's feeling so much pressure to perform earlier in the season, and one of their best players is nowhere to be found. And it's yet another damning example of just how far behind this front office is compared to the other teams that they're trying to compete with.